Vă salut, greetings, kalimera, merhaba, sabah al khair, shalom aleichem, namaskar. I'm Dr. Sabin Badea. So, what does music have to do with being a doctor? Well, being a doctor has to do with improving health. This is the quest and vocation of a doctor, to improve health, like a priest seeks to improve the soul, and the teacher seeks to improve the mind. This has to do with what is called the universal priesthood. It's the preoccupation people have to bring the human condition to its innate state of perfection and of accomplishment. We all want to be healthy, to feel good. And we do this by tweaking our lifestyle, by using small aids, by therapy, and by treatment, depending on severity. Lifestyle is the first and perhaps the most important health keeper. It's the way we eat, we sleep, we exercise, and we think. We relate to ourselves and to others and to the world. Music is part of those little aids, those little things that we spice our lifestyle with to modulate our well-being. Music is also used for therapy. We instinctively use certain music. We play a certain song depending on the mood we have and on the mood we would like to have. Music is being used to set the mood at events, in the elevator, or at parties, you know that. There is something unseen in music, something unseen that is influencing something else unseen in us. Something in our external and our internal perception of life. In the religious world, not only what could be seen, but what could be felt has been regarded as real. And those unseen things that could be felt were called spirits, angels, deities. This is not true in the materialistic paradigm, where what cannot be seen does not exist. This materialistic paradigm could have been like an extreme reaction to mystical abuses, where religious men were abusing this role to manipulate other people. Science has proved what we ourselves have been feeling since the beginning of mankind, that our mood is influencing our health. How does it do this? By having a mood is influencing through the hypothalamus, is influencing the hormonal system. This hormonal system is putting the body in a certain reaction mood, is preparing it for something, be it a relaxed state or an alert state. These are not the only ones. But for example, when we are scared for long periods of time, or when we are stressed or overwhelmed, we have these hormones being released in our body, like cortisol. Cortisol is like the stress hormone. It's good for you for short periods of time, because it makes a lot of energy and resources available for you to fight whatever you need to fight or get over whatever is provoking that stress, something hard that you need to do an extra effort to overcome. But when this state is constant, when this alert mode is not going off, it's depleting your body and your health. Cortisol is also lowering the immune system. It's lowering the infection immunity. And it is also inhibiting the birth of new neurons. And it's inhibiting the forming of new synapses, like connections between neurons that happen in the mind, in the brain, and not only in the brain, when you learn things, when you understand. So to put it short, when you are stressed, when you don't have a good mood, it makes you stupid in the long run. Also, anger is having some disastrous effects on blood sugar, leading in time to diabetes. Also, of course, to the heart and to the vascular system. But this is something you feel when you don't feel good. You feel like you have pain in your heart, you have pain in your liver, in your kidneys. So out of biology and back to music. There is this field called cymatics. And you can see, if you search on the internet, there are some recordings. There is a square plate. They put some grains on them and they vibrate them at a certain frequency. And the grains arrange on that plate to form certain drawings, certain patterns. They are very similar to the mandalas. These shapes, these visual manifestation of a certain frequency, of certain harmonies, they're like the bodies of sound. And different frequencies have different shapes, different bodies. You have to travel a bit on this frequency spectrum to find a definite, another harmonious shape. So what are those shapes? Every shape has a certain mood to it, and every frequency has another mood to it. Just like every spirit has a different mood to it. Spirits are certain ways of movement of the heart and mind that have been given a name. In Indian music, the musical modes, the rags, some are associated with certain deities, with certain vayus. Vayus being these fluxes of life force in the body. Like, for example, when you're breathing is a certain vayu. When you vomit is another vayu. It's like a movement in the being. So, not coincidentally, every musical tune has a certain deity, which is a personality, and a vayu, a way the life moves associated to it. And this is where we enter the field of, where we enter in the common grounds of the psychological and musical field. Music has been used in health improving domain ever since the ancient Greeks. It is also used in traditional Chinese medicine, where every note has a certain element associated to it, and every element has a certain movement, certain organs, body functions associated. If we come more to the present age, we can find on the territory of the Arabic and the Turkish cultures, there were clinics where music was being used for psychiatrical problems treatment and to aid treatment of organic diseases. So you'd go in for like a liver problem, and while getting the plant treatment from the doctor there, you were going to rooms with other patients of the same disease, and you were listening to certain modes of music. A famous such clinic was in Adrianople in the Ottoman Empire in the 17th century. And if you'd like to go more into this Islamic world of music therapy, you can search for Ibn Sina and Al-Farabi, but not only them. Also in the Old Testament, there is the story of David, who was playing the harp for King Solomon, not for King Saul, who was being tortured by a demon. And whenever David was playing the harp, this demon would leave. So it's another story of music helping improve somebody's well-being. And if you look carefully, most religious traditions, they have music at their core. Every ritual has music. Music that is designed to elicit a certain state, a certain prayer state, to make people feel the divine more present. So do we humans know what we do while making music, or just we're playing randomly and whatever comes out, comes out? Well, if you look into history, you will see that yes, we do know what we are doing. That's why we have the modes, we have the scales. Modes in the Middle Eastern music are called the maqams. Each maqam has a name to it. Each maqam has a mood to it. As I said earlier, they were prescribed in clinics of the old Ottoman Empire and the Arabic world. Depending on the result you would want, you would prescribe a certain maqam. Also, certain modes are most efficient at different times of the day. My friend and teacher, Ramy Fares, will take you to a short journey through 5 maqams. He will tell you about them like a brief description, and then he'll give you an example on the oud. And to the end, look at the maqam as a person. It's not a musical scale. It's a person. They have their personality. They have their moods. They have their way of moving. They have the way they make you feel. So be aware of this. Pay attention, because I became aware how powerful the music in mood regulation is when I started meditating to music. And use this music responsively and to your benefit and the benefit of those around you. Bless.
Good evening. So, we're talking about the Arab maqams and about the moods, the emotions that these maqams can give. So, of course, the happiest kind of maqam that we use so we use in all the Alexandria music. I'm from Alexandria, Egypt, but also it reflects with is coherent with the major in Western music, which is the major. And usually, whenever this is played, it's the happiest. I think the secret about this happiness is that the distances are large enough between one tone and another. Like, people already know that no music, da, 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 like one and one, and then half, and then one, da, da, one, and then half. So these distances gives more like freedom. You're a child. You're running. It gives some kind of freedom like this, some kind of outgoing. They are large, yes, but they are not too large, these distances. And in our music, it's rare to find something sad or dramatic with it. But for example, if we take this maqam, which is major in Western culture, we call it ajam. Finally, ajam means foreigner. It's the foreigner or the foreign maqam. So, for example, from the fa, like ajam fa or the fa major, we have this famous song. وحياة قلبي وأفراحه وهنا في مساء وصباح ما لاقيش فرحان في الدنيا زي الفرحان بنجاحه. It's about actually our famous song about passing the exams, about succeeding, passing the exams. So it's happiness. This is, if we say this is the standard in Western music, the standard in Arab music is maqam called rast. Rast is Persian for straight or correct, like rect or rectum in Latin language. Rast is a little similar because it has also a little large distances, and it's even more balanced because the distances are not, for example, 1 1/2 or something. It's actually 1 3/4, and then 1 3 1 1 3/4. It doesn't have halves. This is the original form. And since it has these 3/4, it gives another feeling, a tender feeling, relaxed feeling. It's like you are a sultan and you are sitting down. And the secret is that you start with the distance of 1 and then 3/4. This gives you some kind of stability. You are sitting down, and then the 3/4 distance gives you this mood. So something like this. اسمع 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 لما اقولك ولا اقولك مش هقولك ما انت عارف يا حبيبي يا حبيبي قصدي ايه من غير ما اقولك من غير ما اقولك. So it's a little happy, it's relaxed, it's stable, it has maturity, and a little more emotional. And also we use it in a lot of upbeat music and sha'bi music, like popular music. This is maqam rast. If we take another kind of maqam, maybe we go to the maqams that start in our culture from re. In our culture, the maqams that start from do, they have a center point, some kind of a balance spot, which is the 5th note, the sol, or any 5th note if you start from anywhere. But the maqams that start from re, their center balance, center note is the 4th note. When you go to the 4th note, you feel that you are stable. But this is another topic we can talk about later. So in this case, I give you the example of Hijaz. Hijaz is the name of the mountains in West Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula. Hijaz goes like this. So it starts with a distance of half, and then 1.5, and then half. This is like, it's like little bit step, and then this distance is not a normal distance, it's 1.5. It's like you're jumping, it's like you're falling down, you're not even walking or running happily. It's very sharp. So it gives a sharp feeling. It's like a knife tearing your heart from inside. And sometimes it also, when you go back, sometimes you take another distance like this. This sharpness gives a lot of drama, a lot of anger, sadness. That it can be joy also, because it's basically it's a lot of feeling, it's a lot of emotion, a lot of adrenaline. An example of this maqam is, for example, أسمر يا اسمراني مين قسك علي لو ترضى بهواكي برضو انت اللي ليا بتزيد عذابي ليه ويهون شبابي ليه ويطول غيابك ليه قولي ليه يا قاسي ليه يا اسمر. He's singing for the girl with the tan skin, and he says, why are you cruel with me? Like, who made you that cruel? There is cruelty, there is pain, and you can already feel it in this sharpness. So this maqam is playing a lot of feelings, but it's hard to play it just to be calm, and it's not like rust when you are stable, when you are mature, when you're even if you are upbeat. The Hijaz, you can go slow or upbeat, but it has an emotion. It has some kind of pain, some kind of spice. It's like chili. When you eat the chili, you can be happy with it, but it's hurting your mouth. That's exactly what Hijaz is. Now, the saddest maqam that we have, and the saddest that I can think of completely, is called Saba. Saba starts from Re and starts like a bayadit with 3/4 and 3/4, and then half. It goes like this. And it's the only maqam in our culture that does not end where it starts. Every maqam starts and ends in the same note, like do to do, re to re, whatever. But Saba ends 1/2 step before. It goes like this. it's unusual, but it's very, very sad, very heavy on the heart. So even the upbeat songs that we have, they can be popular, because popular songs are like, but this is also another topic, they can be full of emotions, and sometimes regret emotions, pain emotions. So it goes like this. هو صحيح 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 الهوى غلاب ما اعرفش. You see, when you're walking with this maqam, this emotion, like Bayati, but then again, it's like you're telling a story, but you're in too much pain to continue the story, and then you fall down. So it's exactly like this emotion, and then pain, and then suddenly you explode in this, and then but you cannot even reach where you want to reach. You're crying. You cannot reach the ending of it. So you end one half step before. This is why it's one of the hardest maqams to make a complete song on. Basically, I cannot remember more than 1-2 songs in. Maybe there are more, but it's very difficult to make a complete song from this maqam. So I wanted to show these examples with these 4 emotions. One more time we go. Ajam, Rast, and Hijaz, and Saba. I hope this was useful. I hope you got to feel what we feel also. And thank you.